Hi, everyone, and welcome yet again to the next episode of the Unicorns podcast with me, Dr. Ashwini Chube. And I hope you all are doing well. And I hope you all are enjoying all the episodes. And I've heard some great feedback from you all. And, I always believe that when people encourage you, when people like you send me those good messages, it encourages me to show up every day and record another episode. And what could be better than this very simple technique, which can help you change your life by letting go of any kind of negativity? In the past two episodes, we spoke about grounding and we also spoke about protecting or shielding, right? And I thought that this is the next best sequel to those past two episodes where we talk about the power of a very small thing which is available in our kitchen, which is available in our day to day life, but we overlook it. And that is, yes, the power of salt. Isn't it interesting? The power of salt water baths and the role it plays in clearing not just your aura, but also healing your emotions and, of course, healing all the surroundings around you too. Very recently, I spoke to a friend and she said that she's very determined. She loves to do her work, but then there are days she just doesn't feel like getting out of her bed. And she says that I just get so tired and I don't know what. And I'm ready, I'm ready to launch my course. I have all the content ready. What should I do? And I told her that why don't you try a very simple technique of basic salt water bath? And she said, I don't even have the commitment to get out of my bed and to do the salt water bath. But I said, just do it and see what shows up. About 15 days later, she called me up and she said, Ashwini, it worked. It's not just that I started taking steps, but all those redundant thoughts and emotions which were keeping me stuck in the loop, they are gone too. And she said, I'm not doing anything else other than that. And she's not from the healing world. She is a friend with whom I met her during one of my coaching certifications. And she said it just worked. And hence, I thought, let me share this episode on the wonderful topic, the power of saltwater baths for aura clearing, emotional healing. So, welcome back, beautiful souls, to the Unicorn Podcast by Unicorns Insights. It's me, Dr. Ashwini Chube, your coach, your healer, and your teacher. It's so much fun to talk in these podcasts because so many questions come to me, in form of emails, WhatsApp messages, or some of you who are on my private community, you ask me questions like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I thought one of the best ways to do this is to record a podcast and explain whatever I wanted to in detail. So today we are going to talk about the healing power of the simple and ancient technique of saltwater bath and energized bath salts. This is one of the most powerful tools I've ever experienced for aura cleansing, for also emotional release. And if you look at it over a period of time, it also helps you get a nervous system reset. How does it happen? Because everything is energy. When you have a lot of stuck energies and stagnant energies in your aura, your neural system, your nervous system is always living in the fight and flight mode. You're always afraid that something might go wrong. You might be very anxious all the time. But with the power of saltwater bath, what happens is the negative energies from your bodies and auric system gets cleansed. And before you know, you start feeling more at ease. And if you are feeling at ease over 6 to 8 months, which means you do not get any kind of negative, emotions in 6 months, you will see to it that a lot will start changing for you, and your nervous system will totally change from continuously living in the fight flight to changing for good. Also, a lot of what we believe, the negativity, is more energetic than cognitive. Cognitively, we try to understand things, we try to make sense of things, but it doesn't work. But the moment you get out of the head, get out of the cognitive thinking, and go into the energetic mode. That's why the whole practices like aura cleansing and salt water baths work. So that is the reason that this is a method which helps people. The best part is that it is easy, and the even better part is it's very effective. Especially, I've seen people who just do it every day and they don't think too much. And once they start using the salt water bath, they start seeing shifts in their lives. You do it every day for a month, 2 months, 3 months, in 6 months, you will see that everything is changed. But hang on, it is not something new, okay? I'm talking about it and I've given it to so many of my students and people love doing it. But let me tell you, this is not something which is new or a trending thing. And you might call it, as the West might call it oftentimes, as saltwater baths, but this has been a practice for centuries, for thousands and thousands of years. So I'll give you this example. I remember my grandmother. Every time I would fall sick or if I was not well, and she would tell my mom that, let us do this particular thing, which she used to take salt in her hands and she used to rotate it 3 times around me. And I used to wonder what it is, and I used to wonder what's actually happening. It was quite fun, and it was a very amazing thing, which I just, enjoyed doing. And at that point of time, it was fun for me. But later on, when I grew up, I realized that my grandmother was actually using energy science. So, and it's not just my grandmother, I'm sure you all have experienced that too. When too many people came home, when you had too many guests home, the energy of the house would feel really heavy. Or if children were crying for no reason, like, my daddy used to do that, and I'm sure many of the grandmothers have done that. Or if the house felt tense, if there were too many fights happening in the house, what the grandmothers would do is, I still remember that she would take a pinch of salt, circle it around us, and throw it either out of the door, or my grandmother used to put it on the flame, the cooking gas flame, and it would work. And the civilizations, which after we got so many invasions, and our natural essence of the root of the ancient herbal medicine and the energy medicine techniques, which were lost because of so many invasions which happened. And we were given a word called superstition. Now, superstition is a word, it's a gaslighting term basically, to make you believe that if you are educated, you will not believe in something which you don't see. Okay. And that's why I would say that it was not superstition, it was energy work. Our grandmothers were actually working with our energy system. Now, salt absorbs negative and stagnant energies, whether it is in your aura, whether it is in the house, and it clears the aura and it resets your emotional field. Your aura or emotional field, consider it to be like a pipe. Okay. Now, if you are trying to pass water through a pipe, if there are sediments, if there are rocks, the water will not pass. But the more you push in water and maybe you increase the force of the flow of the water, the stones might get pushed off and then the water will start flowing easily. This is exactly what energy healing or aura cleansing does to you. You put so much energy in something that you are actually manipulating the aura by doing the energy techniques. Similarly, if you take a vacuum cleaner and if you use the suction and suck all the stones and pebbles out of the pipe, the stones will go, and again the pipe will again have lots of water through which the water will flow and the pipe will start running effectively. Now imagine your aura is like that pipe. Now if there are sediments in your aura, which are the negative emotions and negativity and negative beliefs, your aura will become stagnant. And it could be your belief, it could be someone's belief, or you may just have picked up, right? Now when you actually use the salt acts like that. It either acts like that flow of water energy, the water energy which flows and removes the negativity, or it can also act like that suction pump, the vacuum cleaner suction pump, and suck everything out. And it's amazing how this little technique can change so much in your auric field. So it clears the aura, it resets the emotional field, and it helps you feel better. And I always say that it's not just to do it once and that's enough. No, do it every day for a week, a month, 6 months. Make it your lifestyle. And then you will start seeing how much will change for you. If you are someone who feels that, how does it work? I will say that just try. There is no harm in trying. You can take the basic salt from your kitchen, and from today, do it every day for 6 months. And you will see that everything will change in your life. And at that point of time, you can tell me that, this really worked. But don't just say that these things don't work without trying it, because unless you try it, you will not know whether it works or not. So now let me share my personal experience with saltwater bath. I had seen my grandmother doing it when I was a child, but after that, I never knew that something like that existed. I used to see those fancy bath salts whenever I used to visit any fancy store, and I would feel that it is just a luxury item. I never really gave any kind of thought to it, whether it was an energy item. Of course, when I started studying for my Reiki, as to become a Reiki practitioner and eventually a master and a grandmaster, I of course learned about salt water, and it was a great technique to learn. But I actually started practicing it in 2015. Now, I remember in 2015, I was going through a very difficult time. My father had just gotten a surgery done. He was not really keeping well. My mind was full of fearful thoughts. I was always worried. Everyone in the house was worried. And at that point of time, my Reiki master, my Reiki teacher, she told me that, Ashwini, if you're having too many negative thoughts, I used to say that, how will I have so much negative thoughts and so much fearful thoughts coming to me. What do I do? And she said, just dip your feet in, warm salt water, let the energy drain out, and that's it. Do it. And if you do it for just maybe 7 days, you will start seeing the change. I started doing that, and yes, my negativity and those negative redundant thoughts started flowing out, and I started feeling better. After that, I started practicing it on a regular basis. I would either dip my feet in salt water, or I would put a pinch of salt in my bath bucket. In India, we still use bucket and, bath. We still take bath with buckets and mugs. So I started putting a few um, drops of, or I would say pinches of, normal salt. This was my kitchen salt. I used to use my kitchen salt. Initially, I didn't know whether it would work that much, but I tried and something shifted. My mind started lightening up. My worries started softening. I felt that, that I was carrying that heavy weight on my heart that shifted. To be honest, I felt that I could breathe again. And that experience really changed me. I started doing it really regularly. For the next about 6, 7 years, I started just using kitchen salt. Okay. And then I also met a few friends who were healers and who used to make bath salts. And I used to buy from them. I used to love them. And it was amazing. I made it like a regular practice. Then at some point of time, that friend who used to make bath salts, she stopped making them for some reason. And I completely lost in touch with her. And I wondered, where do I get my bath salts from? And at that point of time, I realized that I had learned during my Reiki and during my angelic healing classes about how to make bath salts. When I learned about what we call as angel medicine, which is also one of the courses I teach, in which I teach people to make bath salts, I had learned about how to make bath salts and how do they work. So I slowly started making on my own. I started making, and I think for about two years, I used to make them and use it. And I just started loving them. They just started helping me. Now when clients would come for consultations, I would tell them that you can use the kitchen bath salt. But I realized that in addition to using just bath salts from kitchen, the salt from the kitchen, the ones which I would make, would I would put essential oils, and I would also charge them energetically with energies, with Reiki, with angel prayers, with I also use a lot of chanting. I do a lot of chanting when I create my personal bath salts. Like, I would, for example, if it is a protection bath salt, I often chant either Devi Kavach or Hanuman Chalisa and energize with that. And about a lot of repetitions of that, not just once. And I energize them with Reiki. I put the intention. So they started working even more. I remember clients asking me that, Ashwini, can you make one for me? And I said, actually, I don't make for others. And they said, why don't you make and sell it to us? And I thought that, I already have so much on my plate. This one more thing will be too much to do. But then I thought somewhere, again and again, the clients were asking me, what can I do to release negativity in my aura? And I always tell these tips are very standard tips I tell, whether people do tarot readings with me, whether they do angel card readings with me, where people even come for coaching. I often advise them that why not, if you can use, such a simple ritual which can absolutely change everything about you. So I thought and thought and thought, and then I decided to make my first personal set of bath salts. And I started selling them. People loved them. My clients loved them. My students loved them. And then we started slowly preparing those bath salts. I'm sure if you are watching, you must have definitely used, because most of my clients or most of my students who are regulars, they all have experienced it, and they just tell me that, Ashwini, we love them. It's a permanent part of my um, you know self-care routine. Many people tell me that they use it once a week, but I tell them that you can use it every day too. But if not, yes, at least once a week is good. I'm going to quickly talk about how to use them. And, people ask me things like which salt should I use for what, and how do, Unicorn Insight energized salts, how do they work? So before that, I want to explain why everyone needs bath salts. And especially if you are a healer, or if you are a coach, or if you work a lot with people's emotions, if you are a counselor, if you are a therapist, I would also say if you are a doctor, and if you are anyone and everyone, why should you use bath salts? And why is it such an underrated energy practice which can really help you let go of negative emotions, get more clarity, and that continuous sluggishness which we experience because we live in cities, we have a very hectic lifestyle. I think bath salts also help you connect to the nature. So I personally believe that bath salts help you connect to the nature. Okay. And that's one of the best ways to also ground, to shield, to disconnect. So let's learn about why healers need bath salts, why coaches need bath salts, and I would also say why everyone needs bath salts. So here are 5 of my important reasons why you should, whether you're a healer. And I would also say there are some people who are empaths and sensitive souls. They are not officially healers, but they become natural healers, And now today in 2025, I call myself a healer and a coach. But in 2010, I was neither a healer nor a coach officially on paper, but I was still a healer and coach for many people. Because I remember after my work, I used to talk to my friends over the phone, and I would do their counseling. I would listen to their Dukbari Gatha, and I would tell them that, I can help you with this. I'm right here for you. I used to do that unofficially because that was not my business then. That was not my profession then. This is where I talk about Swadharma, which is what I often talk about, that you are born with a reason. God makes you in a certain way because this is your purpose. So I hadn't realized that I was a healer and a coach. I was not officially one, but I was a natural empath, which means I would feel everyone else's emotion. Many times it would happen that I would just feel sad for no reason. And I would realize that someone in my circle is going through a certain very sad kind of experience, and I would exactly know how they are feeling. I would not understand why is that happening. And everything is going well in my life, but why am I feeling sad? Sometimes also the aches, pains we feel they are of other people. And that is because you are an empath. Empath is someone who feels everything. It's like whatever is happening in others' world, you just feel it. And Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, says that we are like psychic SpongeBobs, which means we are absorbing everything around us. Right? So if you're an empath, or if you're just a sensitive person, like I was always told, you are too sensitive, Ashwini. You should toughen up. You should watch more movies with crime and negativity so that you get used to it. But I remember that whenever I used to watch movies with crime and, bloodshed and negativity, I would fall sick. I would immediately fall sick. And I have also seen that even the tragic movies, which show a lot of tragedy and a lot of negativity, it makes me fall sick if I don't take proper care of myself. So I was naturally a sensitive person, and initially I thought it's a terrible thing to be, but thanks to my teachers, mentors, and right now the world in which I'm living with, connecting to so many like-minded souls, light workers, my friends, my soul family, I realized that it's a gift, and what a beautiful world we can create if we sensitive souls can make the world a better place. So if you are a sensitive person, if you are an empath, saltwater bath is must for you. I think it's a poetry. If you're an empath, do a saltwater bath. I just made it up, by the way. Okay, so let's start with the five top reasons. So salt cleanses the aura. As I mentioned, that you just don't carry physical dirt. Oftentimes we feel that when we come back home after a tired day, we pick up the pollution and the dirt, but we also carry the energetic residue. Okay. Now, what does salt do is salt has the power to absorb emotional heaviness. It also absorbs stress, negativity, jealousy, psychic debris, and it cleans your auric field and makes you feel lighter and clearer. At an energetic level, you feel lighter and clearer. Number two, second, it releases energy which you picked up from others. Now, like I said, 99% of the thoughts, feelings, emotions do not belong to us. Most of the times, the heavy energy which we are feeling is not even ours. We believe, we feel that it is ours, but it is not even ours. Especially if you're a healer, you're a coach, you're a therapist, you're a counselor, you are a, even like I said, you're just an emotional support person to others. You are absorbing energy. Okay. And salt water can help you release what is not yours. So you stay aligned with your own soul in your own energy field, and you're not overwhelmed by others' emotions. So I talk about this when you visit a hospital, or you unfortunately someone passes away, you go for a funeral and you come back, and you know maybe the person was someone you knew, but maybe you are not emotionally connected to them. But sometimes you just feel sad because you're feeling sad for someone who had suffered that loss. Maybe a friend loses their parent, and you go for the parent's funeral, and you see a friend sad, and automatically it's very natural to feel that emotions. But you are connected to your friend, and you are not emotionally connected to their parent, right? But still you're feeling those emotions. And I would say that you can be aligned to your own soul and not overwhelmed by others' emotions. Okay, the third one calms the nervous system. I just spoke about it initially when I started this podcast because I love to study science and connect it to energy science. So, science, when I talk about science, it is the physical science, which, the physics and all of that. And I like to connect it to energy science, and I like to study that because I feel that I also ask a lot of logical questions too every time before I start practicing energy techniques. So I always believe in three things. I first experiment it on myself, then to silence my logical mind, I go and I study and research the topic. And then after only after I experience and only after I study, I share it with my clients. So um, when you use warm water with salts, a lot of magnesium rich salts, it relaxes the muscles, right? And it signals your nervous system to rest. I know so many of my friends are telling me, Ashwini, have you tried using magnesium on your feet for? And I said, this is exactly what we have been using in energy science for the last 10 years almost. Because physically, we see that magnesium can help you relax the muscles, and it gives a signal to your nervous system to rest. So your mind stops racing, your breath deepens, your emotional body exhales. Now, this is what happens at a physical level, but it also impacts your nervous system. Also, as I mentioned at the start of this session, at the start of this podcast, when you use salt, the emotional debris starts clearing off. Okay, now you ask me, how does that happen? Now, do you see emotions? For example, if you're sad, you know where the sadness is? No, but you are feeling sad, right? But you don't know where the sadness is. Can you point out that, oh, the sadness is here? Like, for example, if I am having a headache, I can say that, okay, my head is hurting you, right? But if you are feeling sad, you know where is the sadness? If you are feeling anger, do you know where the anger is? No. But yes, you will see that when you are angry, the corresponding parts of your body will start acting. Your heart will start racing, right? Your palms might get sweaty and you might feel, you might want to just, you're fully charged. Or if you're feeling sad, you might feel something in your heart. You might feel like crying. You don't see emotions, you feel them. Now, what does the salt do is it goes at the energetic level of where that emotion started and it cleanses it away day after day, day after day, day after day. And there is one fine day where you will see that the energy relating, creating that kind of negative emotion has washed away and you feel, I just feel good. This is exactly what happens. And when that happens, your nervous system starts healing. There is so much difference between a person who has been angry for 6 months and who stops feeling that anger, who lets go, and how much relief they feel. Or if you have been worried for about 6 8 months, if you've been panicking for 6 8 months, and all of a sudden the reason why that panic was, it just, maybe you had a project and the project is over now and you don't have those palpitations, right? How would you feel? So salt does that to you, and salt water bath can really help you first relax at the physical level, including your muscles, then at an emotional and mental level, and eventually your energy settles down. Or I would say the root cause is your energy settles down and you start feeling better. The number four is something which we discussed in our previous podcast where people asked me about evil eye, about energy drain. And just like again, I'm going to think of my grandmother, like just like how my grandmother knew that salt is a natural protection shield which dissolves lower vibrations and blocks unwanted negative energies. It just restores your energetic sovereignty. Now, I'm using the term sovereignty because when you let go of what is not yours, when you let go of others' fears, when you let go of others' difficult thoughts and emotions, you are completely on your own and you are in your energetic sovereignty. And next, it helps with emotional release. So if you're overwhelmed, if you're anxious, if you're frustrated, mentally tired, constantly panicking, running on a hamster wheel, thinking, I don't know what's going to be with my life, and you're constantly with those racing thoughts and with a continuous do kind of a state, salt water is like an emotional detox. So do it and just try because you might also sometimes people tell me that after they do a saltwater bath, they just feel something is lifted off. They just fall into deep sleep. Many people say that I cried after that and I felt so much better. But with that, you can, whether you can cry, you can breathe, you can surrender, and the water holds that energy for you. So do it and just experience that. Coming to the next part, how to do a salt water bath or a foot soak. Okay, now this is very important for all of us here. So many people ask me that should I do it every day? Should I do it sometime? Should I do it once a week? So if you, and most important, many people also say that I don't have a tub bath at home. In cities where we have smaller houses, we don't have a tub, right? How do I do that? Or I know most people who don't live in India still don't use bucket and tub to take a bath. Like I use that for myself whenever I am in India. Whenever I'm not in India, of course, that's not available anywhere outside India. But today, in major urban places, too, people use shower instead of bucket and mug. So people ask me that how to use those salts in your day to day. So it's very simple. If you have a bathtub, let's take three categories. If you have a bathtub, what to do? If you have bucket and tub, what to do? And if you use shower, what to do? So if you have a bathtub, excellent. You are really lucky. So add 1 to 2 spoons of salt. You can use Unicorn Insight Energized salts. We'll love them. Trust me, because I've made it. I've made it with my own hands. It's my own creation, and I always feel so much lightness with them. So you can add 1 or 2 spoons to your bathtub, and you can soak yourself for about 15 to 20 minutes. As you stay there, you simply can say that I now allow all the negativity, other energies which are not mine to be released. I let it go. I'm ready to release them. That's it. That's it. And just let them go and just enjoy the saltwater bath. If not, if what if you're using bucket and tub, you can do the same thing. You can use in one bucket, 1 spoon should be good. Mix it properly, and just when you shower, when you put that water on your body, keep saying the same thing. I release everything which is not mine. I release all tiredness, all fears, all worries, all negativity, everything which is not mine, and I reclaim my peace and power, whatever you can use. Now, if you're using shower, what are you going to do? If you're using shower, I always tell people to take a little bit of it, maybe a spoon of it. You can take it on your left hand. You can rub both your palms on each other, and you can put it on your chakra points, on your third eye, on your throat, on your heart, or at your chest, on your stomach and abdomen. And I would also suggest put it on your feet and also on your knees. These are a few points which I tell. Just massage them gently and say that I allow all negativity to be released. And then you can finish rest of the shower. You can use soap, shampoo, whatever you use, and that should be it. Now, most important thing is while you visualize, while you are soaking or while you are using the bath salts, visualize all heavy energy dissolving, draining, and returning to earth for transmutation. Once a client also told me that when she was visualizing it, she could actually see black energy going, down from her feet, like not physically in her. When she was visualizing, she felt that there is some black colored energy just exiting. And she said that, Ashwini, after that, a lot of things which I was suffering at work with politics and negativity, it all started changing. Now, the key is here that you have to do it regularly. Don't just do it once and say that kuch nahi hua, it doesn't work. You have to do it regularly. You have to do it maybe for 6 months at least to see the effect, because energy works at a very subtle level. We are living currently in a place where we want everything instant, and that's the reason we don't have the patience for that. But if you use it continuously for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, a lot will start changing for you. Also, you can start with basic kitchen salt, which is still great to start with, because I don't know where you live. If you are not able to buy bath salts, or if you right now do not have that much funds to invest in self care, you can always start with the kitchen salt or even with rock salt. The ones which we even get in our local stores in India. But if you are someone who really would like to explore energized bath salts, we at Unicorn Inside, we ship pan India. Very soon we'll be also shipping to other countries. But for now, we ship all over India. So you will receive it at your doorstep, and you can get in touch with us, and our team will send you the bath salts, and you can pay via internet banking or with through GPay, whatever it is. But you can get in touch with us if you would like to use. As of now, we have Sleep Well, meant for people who are having difficulty sleeping. We also have Self Love for people who find it very difficult to the people who criticize themselves a lot and who are very self-critical. The self-love bath salts we have for them. We also have the negativity release. If you are someone who feels that every day I come home, I feel so much stuck energy, so much negativity around me. मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ या सकती हूँ because there are negative people around me. I highly recommend Aura Cleanse bath salts, and we are also upcoming with our Archangel bath salts, which will be released in the next few months. And I'm sure with that a lot you will start seeing difference. You yourself will tell me how good they are. As I said, I've always tried and tested them on my own self, and I have also researched a lot on what ingredients work. And of course, I've learned a lot from my teachers who have taught me. So you can start using the bath salts, which are there is also no negative side effect of using them. Just make sure you don't eat them, although they may look very tempting. They are not edible. Please note that. And secondly, do a patch testing before you put your feet, because they are extremely safe. I have the most sensitive skin, and it has not given me any issues till now because we make it ourselves. Make sure you use it within the time given. We mention all the details on the bath salt box, how much days, till when it is good to use. Don't keep it and use it after 10 years. Please, don't do that. That is true for any products. And use it regularly. And if you cannot take bath with that. I would also say use a small tub, dip your feet in it, put a spoon of it, put some nice music, put some meditation maybe, and just say that I release everything which does not serve me. This has helped people even let go of difficult money experience. I knew people who had really bad money reality. They were not making money at all. And I gave them this technique. They started using the bath salts and they said that how it changed. How it changed. I said, don't ask how it changed. Just say, don't ask the how, just be in the wow. I always say. Instead of asking how it changed, say that wow, it changed, right? So just use it and see how it works. So our bath salts, most important, the reason why I always say that my bath salts are something which I can recommend is because I personally made. I know there may be so many people who might have made the bath salts, but I can vouch for my own self because I made it on my own. I don't know about others. I'm sure they are doing good, but you can use ours. So how do we actually make it? We make it by ourselves. We use for the base, we use either pure Himalayan or the basic sea salt. We use high quality essential oils. We do not compromise. Our essential oils are of the best quality. We also use natural things like herbs, flowers, and roots. We use natural minerals. And also, the colors which we use are very safe. Initially, we also use natural plant colors. But what we realized, what the natural plant colors were not being helpful for bigger packets. So now we started using natural colors, but those colors are fully organic. So they also use natural minerals. They are extremely safe to use. Most important, the recipes are channeled. I have not taken the recipes from anyone. Every batch, every essential oil is Reiki infused. The people who make, along with me and my team who makes it, all of them are Reiki practitioners. So when they make itself, they put an intention and they are blessed with angelic energies, with unicorn energies, with divine healing energies. These salts are not cosmetic, so don't feel that we are using some chemicals. In fact, I am someone who says that now, after so many years, I've come to this conclusion that I have lessened my use with chemicals. I've not completely gotten out of them. Let's be real, in this world, we are still moving from a chemical to non-chemical basis. So I am trying to eliminate as chemical as much as possible. So we do not use any kind of chemicals in our essential oils. I would say that our bath salts are energy medicine. They are made from the heart to support your light, your peace, and your path. So you always don't need. So, I would, to conclude this beautiful, powerful episode, I would say that you don't always need a big ritual to heal. Sometimes healing is as simple as a warm water bath with salt, allowing all those negativity to be let go. You can try it tonight if you have taken our bath salts. If you haven't, you can buy them. Meanwhile, you can use your kitchen salt. People ask me that why not kitchen salt? Kitchen salt is refined, so a lot of properties of salts are broken in that, and it is effective. I'm not saying it's not effective because I myself started my journey from there, but I started seeing the results a lot more quicker when I started using the real infused salts. Okay, so let the salt cleanse you, friends. Let your heart breathe again, and you are meant to live this life with experiencing joy, magic, miracles every day. You're not just meant to be all the time in panic, all the time anxious. No, that's not what we are here for. We are here to experience that bliss every day. So start your journey with your cleansing with the salt water baths, and you will see that within 6 months, your life will change completely. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Unicorns Insights podcast, the Unicorn podcast. And if this episode really helped you, or if it just inspired you, share it with someone you love, someone from your family, someone from your friend circle. If you work in corporate world, share it with more people. I know people in the corporate world are really going through some very difficult circumstances. Almost 70% of my clients come from the corporate world, and I can sometimes see their pain and their day-to-day struggle to manage home and office and expectations. So, I would say that if you are in a corporate background, you're doing great work, be gentle on yourself, take care of yourself. And until next time, stay soft, stay sacred, and stay magical. Here is me, Dr. Ashwini Chube from Unicorns Insights, expressing gratitude, sending love, light, magic, miracles, and possibilities for all of you. Bye.